Hey everyone, my name is Ronak, back with another video, and this is the 8th video in the Deep Learning for the Rookie Developers playlist. And in this video you are going to learn the transfer learning basics. So far now we have covered the data augmentation. So you have actually learned how to prepare a convolutional neural network along with the dropouts regularization and data augmentation. But in this video we are going to oversee a really big problem which can be solved with some easy steps. So let us get started. So I have already typed the entire code and I've trained the models because training is going to take a while and I don't want to waste a lot of time. But you are going to have this notebook in the description box below. You can click on the GitHub link and you will be directed to the source code. So let me give you a walkthrough of the code. So first I'm importing the TensorFlow, then I'm importing the OS, then this is the dataset URL. So this is basically a flowers dataset. So it actually consists of 5 different type of flowers which we are looking forward to classify. So it is daisy, dandelion, sunflower, rose and tulips. We actually unzip this data. After that we store it on the Google Colab. Later on I'm using something known as image data generator. So this image data generator helps me perform the data augmentation. So I am actually performing that. I'm taking a variable known as data generator in which I am actually importing the image data generator and I am performing some augmentation methodologies. I have already covered this in the earlier tutorials. If you don't know what augmentation is, please go and check it. It is the 7th tutorial. So first I am rescaling over here. Then I am performing the validation split. So this split actually has the 20% of my testing images. So we have somewhere around 3800 images, out of which 20% will be given to the testing. Then I'm rotating the images, I'm zooming in, I'm playing with the shifting range, shear, horizontal. So these are all the image processing basics, alright, where you can actually create a different augmented data which is pretty, I would say, decent to handle. After that I'm taking the batch size as 64 because I cannot just take the 3000 or 4000 images in a one step. Alright, so for that I'm using something known as batch size. So this batch size is actually going to take the data in consecutive 64 values batches. Alright, then I'm giving it for training. Okay, so I'm preparing my training set where you have to say subset is equal to training. So it is going to make the splits of 80% and 20%, out of which the batch size is 64. So it is going to help me pre-process the image data. Okay, so that is the task of the image data generator. After that I am similarly performing the same for testing where I am saying the subset is equal to validation, which is going to take the 20% of my data, and the target size is 224 by 224. Okay, so I am actually trying to maintain the ratio of the dimensions. Alright, so I want something that is, very well, because later on if we want to predict something or the other, what I can do is I can just use that dimension itself. So this actually gives me 2939 training images which belongs to 5 classes and 731 images belonging to the 5 classes which are the testing data. Like I said, so we have 5 types of flowers, so which is daisy, dandelion, roses, sunflowers and tulips. After that what I do is I'm creating the training steps. So these are the steps on which the basis will be taken for our model. So these are 45. Okay, so I just take all the training samples, that is 939 divided by 64, that gives me 45. So I am actually rounding the figure, I don't want the decimal thing. Similarly I do it for the validation. So in each and every single step of the validation I'm going to take 11 images and I'm going to take 45 images from the training data. Now we come to our model. Okay, so I have created a model. Augmented model is the name of the variable which holds my class, which is sequential. Okay, so the sequential has one con2D layer. Alright, so it is taking 224 by 224 into 3. So this 3 is for RGB channel images and the activation I perform is ReLU. If you don't have any idea, please go and check. Okay, so I am applying 128 filters of size 3 by 3. Later on I am performing a max pool layer. Okay, so this actually makes a good combination. After that I am again applying one more con2D with 128 filters, 3 by 3 sized kernels. Alright, then one more max pool layer. Then again I am performing 64 filters now this time. Alright, then a max pool. Then I'm flattening everything. Okay, so this is actually going to get converted for our fully connected layer. Then I'm applying a dense layer of 512 neurons, then 256 neurons, then 128 neurons, and finally 5. Now you may ask why 5? Because we have 5 images to classify, that is this. Okay, so daisy, dandelion, roses, sunflower and tulips. I actually am going to compile this thing Okay, so compilation is where you apply the loss optimizers and everything. Okay, so loss I'm using is categorical cross entropy. Optimizer that is I'm using is stochastic gradient descent. Matrix is accuracy. All right. Finally, I fit the data. So the fit method is going to train our data. Where I feed it my training data, my validation data is going to be my testing data, which is this one. All right, the testing data. And later on I am using it for 25 POCs with all of my steps, that is 45 and 11. And finally the accuracy that we get is 62% of my training and 57% of testing. Okay, so even though my network is now fully matured, okay, I haven't used any dropouts since I'm using augmentation, but my accuracy is very poor. So how am I actually going to work on this accuracy? So that is the thing we are going to solve using the transfer learning, because everything seems fine. Okay, I'm already augmenting the data. Even if I don't regularize, the accuracy is up to mark. But what is the issue that is actually happening over here? Since there are a lot of facets when we have to overlook when we have to work with the deep learning. So you cannot just increase the number of epochs in order to gain the accuracy. Okay, you might actually run into overfitting. So in order to solve that problem, we are going to use a deeper built network. All right, so this is where the transfer learning is going to come into picture. So what is transfer learning? Okay, this is the generic definition. Assuming the fact that I have a network, okay, which is something like this, which is trained on ImageNet. So ImageNet is a dataset with 1000 classes. All right, so I'm training that big network, all right, which is going to work with my 1000 testing images. So what I'll do is, since it is learned the parameters of like 1000 classes, we have a lot of knowledge. So we are going to do knowledge transfer. So this is transfer learning. We are going to take the weights that are used in that network in our network. And luckily many people have made this advanced form of networks. Okay, they have been working on those networks for a long period of time, and they have trained it for like weeks and months. All right, so that is, I would say, a great gift from them. So we are going to use their models to improve our accuracy. So let me show you the way it works. So I'm not going to go intricately into the detail of what really the ResNet is. Okay, so ResNet is something, residual network, that is something we are going to cover in this tutorial, but I'm going to show you and demonstrate to you what really ResNet is in the upcoming tutorials. Okay, because ResNet itself deserves an entire video, and it is one of the most important variant of the CNN. Okay, it is a very, very deep network. It was actually formulated in order to tackle the ImageNet competitions. Okay, so there was a competition for the ImageNet where many networks were considered. Okay, so there was something known as AlexNet, then there is something known as VGG16, then there is something known as InceptionNet, then there is something known as residual networks. Okay, so there are a lot of complex neural network structures which have already been done. Okay, so we are just going to plug the weights of that in our data. Okay, so we will have all the layers and all the data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stash the input and output section, and I'm going to apply my thing and the entire network. So it has learned a lot of parameters if we consider. So that is the thing we are performing with the transfer learning, and it quite makes your life much more easier. So the way I do it, it is already, I would say, imported. You can import it using the Keras. Okay, so Keras gives you the applications. In that we have ResNet version 2. Okay, I'll actually tell you what is version 1, version 2 in the upcoming tutorials, because I'm going to dedicatedly perform a video where I explain the intricate details of the ResNet through a paper. Okay, so that is the way you actually study a neural network. No one is going to tell you that. Okay, so I will teach you how you can learn or read papers. Okay, so you have to read it from the paper and try to make the assumptions. So that is the way we do it. Then I just import the flatten and dense layer, and I import something known as models. Now let us get started. So what I'll do is I'll just call this object, which is ResNet 101 v2. Okay, so there are many variants of the ResNet. There is a ResNet 34, ResNet 50, ResNet 101, and ResNet 152. So these 101 are basically the layers. All right. And then I give it my input shape, that is obviously going to be 224 by 224 into 3, which is RGB. Then the most important thing, I'm going to say include top is equal to false. So this is my output layer. Okay, so this actually is working for 1000 classes, but my data is consisting of the 5 classes. So I'm going to say input include top false. All right. After that, weights I'm going to use of ImageNet. So ImageNet is a massive data set of 1000 classes. Okay, so I'm going to perform on that. Then one more important step, for layer in ResNet.layers, layer.trainable is equal to false, because we are actually importing the weights that we have already been trained. Alright, so I'm going to say trainable is equal to false. I'm not going to train, I'm just going to run my neural network with my data through that network. Okay, I'm just going to iterate through it. Then first of all, I apply flatten layer. So the ResNet.output is basically where you have removed the top layer, that is the 1000 classes, and I am just flattening that. Okay, so I am just flattening that CNN layer. After that, I make a prediction layer. Okay, so these are just the name of the variables. You can just use them the way you want. So this flattening layer is going to come over here, but here I'm going to set dense, that is my dense layer of 5 neurons. Why 5? Daisy, dandelion, roses, tulips and sunflower. And activation is softmax. Okay, because I'm just working with the flower classified with the highest probability. Then I use something known as model. So this model is going to take the input as my ResNet.input. Okay, so this input is going to come directly into picture from the training procedure. Alright, so I'm going to append my data to it, and output is going to be the prediction layer. So this prediction layer is this one. All right, so the entire ResNet thing is going to work over here. Okay, because we are just removing that 1000 classes. All right, then I'm compiling my model with same categorical cross entropy, stochastic gradient descent. I'm going to go into very intricate details later on. Okay, because we are only exploring, let's say, stochastic gradient descent since a long period of time. I'm obviously going to cover some or the other, I would say, loss optimizers in the upcoming tutorials. All right, then I'm fitting the data. Now I'm not even fitting it on the 25 epochs. Let us just check with the 10 epochs. Okay, so I'm giving it my training data, my validation is having my testing data, and I'm using the steps as 45 and 11 over here. And this actually gives me my accuracy as 89% with testing accuracy of 84%. Very great. So because I have trained this network for, let's say, 25 epochs with so many layers, and here I'm just using someone's pre-trained great massive model, which actually yields me accuracy very easily in just 10 epochs. What else you want? Okay, so we have to work like that. Okay, I'll show you some of the most popularly used networks that you usually incorporate in the transfer learning. All right, and finally I'm checking the model summary. So my model summary, if you can see over here, so this network is actually consisting of 101 layers. See, many layers. Okay, see, this is the depth of it. This is the depth that it works on, the ResNet. And finally it actually gives us 43 million parameters. Okay, so if we actually check the parameters here over here, they are hardly going to be, I think, 200 or 300,000. Okay, so 400,000, something like that. But here we have 43 million parameters. 43 million. Okay, so 10, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000, and then a million and 10 million. Okay, so these are 43 million parameters. So basically it can be also said as 4 crore 31 lakhs 28,325 total parameters. So this is the way the things are, and this actually you can leverage this and you can get the things done because it is going to work very well. Okay, so trainable parameters are around 500,000, which are way much more than you can actually imagine. All right, because this network would have taken weeks to train, and we have already just plugged the knowledge from the network, the weights and everything, and we are actually using it to leverage our problem. So this is the way the transfer learning works. Again, in some upcoming tutorials, I'm obviously going to cover ResNet in more detail, and I hope you might have learned something or the other from this tutorial. Okay, so the source code will be obviously available to you in the description box below, and if you like my content, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell icon so that you get notified every time whenever I post something new. Okay, so I do make a lot of content with respect to machine learning, deep learning, interview tips and everything. Okay, so I am a professional data scientist. So this is it for this video, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.